Tzu Chi volunteers in Shanghai traveled to Jiangsu's阜宁to offer health consultation to residents. And we'll look at the challenges and changes that Taiwan's traditional puppet industry is facing. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. We begin today's program in China. In Jiangsu, China, Tzu Chi Foundation's construction of DaAi homes in Kongdang village is near its completion. A group of entrepreneur volunteers from Shanghai recently traveled to Kongdang village to deliver zhongzi and well wishes to the construction workers and residents. This time, team members and teachers also offer health consultation and teach Jiangsu aphorisms to residents. 36 Tzu Chi volunteers from Shanghai arrived at the Kongdang DaAi village after a 5-hour ride to deliver zhongzi and well wishes for the construction workers and residents. Under the heat, the volunteers bow as they offer zhongzi and fruit. Even when passing cars stir up the dust, the volunteers continue to show their respect. Now that the construction of DaAi homes is near its completion, the volunteers are deeply touched.
在发生这个龙卷风的时候，我也在这附近出差，所以那时我是那一天晚上是很。
When the tornado struck Funing County, I was on a business trip nearby. On the next day, I was sad to see that Kongdang village was devastated. As I see the houses near completion today, I truly feel that the power of love is incredible.
房子都起来了，真是这个爱的力量是不可思议的。那种感动不是。
I feel touched not just seeing the construction being completed, but seeing the people who directly and indirectly contributed to this project.
间接付出的。
The volunteers also traveled to Funing Banhu Center Primary School to share Jiangsu aphorisms with some 300 students.
As a teacher, we don't specialize in teaching Jiangsu aphorisms. Therefore, I think this is a precious opportunity to teach them some life principles with Jiangsu aphorisms.
Team members have also come to offer health consultation, measure blood pressure, and check the residents' teeth.
Funing is in the impoverished area of northern Jiangsu, so the residents are not aware of the importance of oral hygiene. That's why I want to come here.
The volunteers from all walks of life are offering their support as Tzu Chi continues to build DaAi homes in Kongdang village. In Indonesia, there's a single mother who wants to work illegal job because she has no expertise and has to raise her 5 children after her husband passed away. After receiving financial assistance from Tzu Chi, this mother has improved her life as she quit the illegal job and started to sell food in front of her home.
Jakarta, Indonesia is one of the most congested cities in the world. To reduce traffic flow, the government of Indonesia implements the policy of a high occupancy vehicle lane in some regions for the exclusive use of vehicles, with a driver and 2 or more passengers. This leads to the emergence of a group of people called jockey who always hitch a ride on the streets to help a driver deceive local officials. This woman, Siti, has worked illegally as a jockey for 2 years, as she is frequently caught by the police. After her husband passed away, she has to raise her 5 children alone. She feels physically and mentally tired because some of her children have hearing and speaking problems.
I hope my 80-year-old daughter can regain her health soon. At least she can regain hearing ability so that it won't be difficult for me to communicate with her.
After receiving financial assistance from Tzu Chi, Siti started to sell food in front of her home she rented.
Tzu Chi volunteers are just like my own family. Originally, I had to face the difficulties in life alone. Thanks to Tzu Chi, they gave me assistance regardless of our religion and race. Volunteers also treat me like their own family. In the past, I was so desperate, but now I know I'm not alone. I have never seen such a nice charity group like Tzu Chi.
With the love and warmth from Tzu Chi, now this family can overcome any difficulties they may face in their life.
Tzu Chi recycling volunteer Liang Jingchan's son became paralyzed because of a car accident 20 years ago. To care for her son, she moved her bed next to him. She often felt bitter about her misfortunes. However, after participating in Master Zheng Yan's Dharma teachings at dawn, she learned to be grateful and accept this adversity. Now she uses her free time to join the ranks of Tzu Chi recycling volunteers.
This mother pats her son on his back, feeds him, and helps him take a bath. Lying in bed is the only son of Liang Jingchan, who at the age of 23 was paralyzed in a car accident and has been bedridden for 20 years.
He
has been in and out of intensive care. I've always been at his side through all of his illnesses and his ups and downs, as the hardship is hard to describe.
Hearing her son hum along to a song puts a smile on Liang Jingchan's face. After she came to terms with her bitter fate, she was able to become a volunteer. At 4:30 in the morning, she participates in Dharma sessions at dawn.
I listen to the Master's teachings and use it in my daily life. Fortunately, my son is still with us, as we should be satisfied and give thanks.
From these Dharma sessions at dawn, she has begun to learn about karma, which changed some of her thinking. She no longer worries about her difficult fate and is grateful that her daughter and son-in-law are willing to help her. A family has been pulled closer together, and the son bravely fights to overcome his many physical challenges to continue living and enjoying life.
In Taiwan, a couple surnamed Peng from Miaoli's Sanyi Township are Tzu Chi care recipients. As Mr. Peng is bedridden, he has to rely on his wife to get by. After Tzu Chi volunteers paid a care visit to them, they found Mr. Peng slept on thick quilts, and his wooden bed was not adjustable. Worried that he might develop bed sores, volunteers recently brought a comfortable bed to him.
This bedridden man is Mr. Peng, who suffered a stroke, a traffic accident, and a fall. Fortunately, he has a loving wife who is originally from Indonesia and is always by his side to look after him.
I need to put a lot of effort into raising him to sit up in bed, but he will always lie down again.
It always takes a lot of efforts for Mrs. Lin to turn her husband over in bed. The hard wooden bed is also a problem for her because she cannot adjust the angle. When Tzu Chi volunteers paid a visit, they saw this couple's needs.
We are afraid that in the short term, he will develop bed sores if he keeps sleeping on these quilts, so we suggest bringing a bed in here.
Volunteers found a second-hand hospital-type bed at a public first aid station. As the condition of the bed is still quite good, they deliver it by truck and use rags to wipe it down 3 times.
We hope to give him a comfortable bed, allowing him either to sit or to lie down on it.
Mrs. Lin is originally from Indonesia, and after she got married, she has lived in Taiwan for over a decade. Having no children, she has to take care of her husband alone. What makes her sad is that she seldom feels other people's care. With this adjustable bed, volunteers have lessened Mrs. Lin's burden. They also help her clean the home, sweeping away the dust and helping wipe away her worries.
In Taiwan, in the past, whenever there was a temple celebration for the gods, a puppet troupe would be a common sight. Nowadays, those live performances have been replaced with LCD screens, which simply broadcast pre-recorded performances. This has led many people in Taiwan's traditional puppet industry to face a major threat. Nevertheless, some people believe there's still some hope left, as puppet troupes must work harder to reconnect with their audience.
Colorful puppet shows outside of temple festivals are a common childhood memory. for many 40 and 50-year-old people. However, changing times has led the few remaining puppet troupes to perform for even smaller audiences. Changhua County is an area with the largest number of puppet troupes, as this road sees a truck converted to a puppet theater stage, which is across from a temple. An old puppet master performs on the stage. The vocal performance of this live show is disappearing, taken over by pre-recorded tape.
I got about $150 for this performance, which is very little. Before, I would do it all live. Going out, you have to perform in front and in back, and had to do a good job because there were many people in the audience.
Now that these performances are only a show for the gods to see, the old master insists on maintaining the quality of each performance. However, price and competition meant quality would inevitably suffer, with some puppet troupes even switching to LCD screen broadcasts. This issue was hotly debated on the internet, though many theater troupes were reluctant to discuss this, which is a major issue facing the puppet troupes.
One reason is the money, and another is that one needs a lifetime of learning. You can't just do this because you want to earn money and no one watches, so no one cares, as it is now turning out like this.
Some of these old troupes have no one to take over, so the quality of their performances are uneven.
Glove puppet theater was wildly popular in the 40s and 50s across Taiwan, with the Mao family's troupe, Luminous World Hand Puppet Theater, setting a record for hosting some 800 performances a year for 3 consecutive years. And now the theater group has been passed down to the 3rd generation of the family. Here we see father and son performing on the same stage, but fewer and fewer of these troupes are able to see these traditional skills passed down to the next generation. Also born into a glove puppet theater troupe, with his father being a National Art Award winner, as Wang Yingchun. At the age of 10, he did his first puppet theater performance. At the age of 30, he took over the troupe and also began serving as a university lecturer. He has seen the evolution of the puppet theater industry in Taiwan and is very concerned.
What most people cannot accept is that during performances, some people just sit in the back and drink tea and chat.
But Wang Yingcheng does not agree with this argument. While there are a few people in front of the stage, he says this could be related to changes in the overall social environment.
After this pre-recorded performance appeared, this represented a change in times, as there was more demand but also more price competition. Some asked the gods if they wanted a puppet show, but didn't specify if they wanted a very expensive one or one that is very cheap. Sometimes there is no demand for quality, which leads to this price competition.
Some can't do these performances. They can simply buy a stage and tap to do it, but they haven't studied these performances.
Old puppet troupes are still battling against fewer audiences, though they believe that even if there is no audience, the performance is still done for the gods.
Even if no one watches, you still need to follow the traditional practice and do the kicks and the twists that are needed, and not make everything appear to fly like some people are doing now.
With glove puppet theater attracting attention once again because of the use of LCD screens, Wang Yingchun believes that there is still a chance to recapture the audience.
Because of this news, every person now may spend 3 to 5 minutes to ensure there's a serious performance on stage.
With the advent of 3D films in the modern era, glove puppet theater continues to be rooted in the past, though its audience has been on the decline. This traditional folk art has gone from entertaining the public to being a performance for the gods, and now just a pre-recorded broadcast. For a century, this art form has endured, though now it is facing a very big challenge.
In Singapore, the owner of Aztec, Jiangsu and his wife, have started to practice recycling at their factory after they learned about Tzu Chi's recycling mission 3 years ago. They even provide vegetarian meals for their staff every Wednesday to promote the health benefits of vegetarianism.
The owner of AZTech prepares Chinese cuisine and Indian cuisine with her staff members for their weekly vegetarian gathering.
I'm very happy because embracing vegetarianism is good for the environment and health.
Actually, the meal is very nice, very yummy, even though it's all our vegetables, but the taste is very good.
This factory has been practicing recycling for 3 years. In addition to setting up recycle bins, it also recycles and reuses waste wood to reduce air pollution caused by incineration and save the cost of cleaning and transportation.
I believe we can save at least $7,210 for a whole year. Every time we saw that large container pull out, and later it will be incinerated. I think this is harmful to the environment, so we should reuse what we can use.
This businessman, James Lim, and his wife have joined Tzu Chi to the recycling. They also invite Tzu Chi volunteers to their company to share their experiences.
When I saw the picture showing our environment suffering serious damage, I was inspired by this. It does not mean that we can choose to do recycling. It is a must. The earlier we do recycling, the better.
I see some videos of the killing the animals. Really very cruel. Today onwards, I tried to reduce so initially I tried to reduce the meat. I tried to convert to vegetarian.
We hope by inviting them to adopt a meatless diet as well as protect the environment, they can cultivate their benevolence. This means we hope they can gradually show their love to nature.
We can start with ordinary things in our life and bring a kind of love to our staff and their family, and later pay love forward to society.
This couple not only invites more people to protect the planet, but also helps spread the idea of environmental conservation to every corner of the society.
In Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers in Kuala Lumpur and Selangor have been preparing for the establishment of a Tzu Chi International School in Kuala Lumpur. While volunteers celebrated the Dragon Boat Festival, they also used this occasion to make zhongzi for a charity sale to raise funds for the new school.
This recycling station has been turned into a kitchen where Tzu Chi volunteers in Kuala Lumpur and Selangor make vegetarian zhongzi for a charity sale to raise funds for the Tzu Chi International School in Kuala Lumpur. They work with one heart to prepare a total of 2,600 zhongzi.
It is because of their assistance that I dare to take on this responsibility. Otherwise, I don't dare to. I know they're always there to help me and support me. They usually ask me to take good care of my health and take my time.
The distribution process is also a big challenge.
We have a study club, so I communicated with the participants. I asked them to give me the name list after making sure who will go to the study club that night. Then I put the name for each on the bag of zhongzi. After we delivered the bags of zhongzi there, they allocated the bags to each person.
This resident admires Tzu Chi's humanitarianism and educational ideals, so she has helped sell 100 zhongzi to her friends.
When I discussed the issue about education with like-minded friends, they all showed great support. When I told them I was going to sell zhongzi for charity to raise funds for the Tzu Chi International School, they also showed great enthusiasm. So my idea of selling 100 zhongzi at a charity event came from here.
Eating zhongzi for the Dragon Boat Festival celebrations can not only mark this special occasion, but also supports education.
In Taiwan, a large-scale charity concert is scheduled to take place at the Taichung Jiangsu Hall. Prior to the concert, workers began building the stage. In the process, they had to overcome challenges to ensure the stage and TV screen are properly set up. Let's take a look.
The assembly of the stage starts in the morning. As the workers bring the stage base to Fuhui Hall, they first make sure the floor safety measures are implemented.
The floor is similar to that in dance studios, so workers first lay non-woven fabric carpet to avoid damaging the floor.
In addition, a 400-inch screen is supposed to be set up on the first floor. Because the ceiling is curved, the workers need to consider the limited space.
When setting up, we need to consider the height of our LED TV screen. Make sure it won't hit the curved ceiling.
There will also be a bell and drum performance. The participants are quite young, showing their passion and vitality.
This time we used the special booty drum to attract more young people. We want to show that Buddhists include many young people.
The performing volunteers practice diligently, ready to do their best to entertain the concert audience.
In Durban of South Africa, besides holding an official Buddha Day ceremony, Tzu Chi volunteers also go to the countryside to help the care recipients honor the Buddha. Whether the care recipients are feeble or ill, they all joyfully pay tribute to the Buddha with the help of volunteers. Let's take a look.
The African priory is their spiritual cultivation ground. Under the blue sky, they conduct a walking meditation outdoors. Using a simple wooden table and wild flowers, the volunteers carry out the Buddha Day ceremony. They pay respect to the Buddha with an African style. With the natural light coming from outside, the participants also honor the Buddha indoors. Walking on the winding road, the volunteers spread their care to different corners. They sing and dance, carrying the 25-kilogram bag of rice. To help this 70-some-year-old stroke sufferer honor the Buddha, the volunteers bring the Buddha statue to her. Local Tzu Chi massage the senior and do the laundry, doing their best to care for her. In another hut lives a severely ill senior who cannot even talk. The volunteers hold his hands to help him honor the Buddha. Despite the lack of resources, the South African volunteers pay tribute to the Buddha with their pure hearts and respect.
To celebrate Dragon Boat Festival, the teachers at Tzu Chi Kindergarten in Panda Inda taught the kindergarteners how to make zhongzi and fragrance sachet. In addition, the children also got a lesson on environmental protection. We'll leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.